Here's my rule of thumb. If a string library can't handle Mozart, it doesn't belong in my template. That's it. That's the line. And let me tell you, most libraries don't make the cut. Live from the spare bedroom orchestra pit, I'm Kitarraman. In the last episode of What's Inside My Orchestral Template, we sorted through some of the tedious but essential groundwork, load times, drives, and performance hacks. If you missed it, go check it out first. It'll explain why I had to brew a mate every time my library is loaded. But today, we're diving into the backbone of the orchestra, the strings. And oh boy, I've been through a lot of libraries to land where I am now. I started with Miroslav Philharmonic, and let's give credit where it's due. This thing was a landmark. Back when it came out, it blew the doors open. A full orchestra in a box at a price almost anyone could reach.
I'd buy that for $1.
But Hall of Fame doesn't mean starting lineup. These days, Miroslav's sitting on a comfy chair in the Museum of Orchestral Libraries, telling stories of the good old days.
So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time.
From there, I moved to Native Instruments Symphony Essentials, then graduated to the full Symphony series. Both were developed in collaboration with AudioBro. I even tried session strings for a hot second, but the upper range was weak and, honestly, it just didn't sound good. So I backtracked. Somewhere in between, I started layering the instruments from the Alpine Instruments project. Then, during an orchestration class, I discovered divisi writing. That's when I built a custom multi in Symphony series that let me split rows of players into chairs A and B. Pretty cool idea, but the sound? Still not it. Here's where Mozart comes in. The overture to the Marriage of Figaro is my benchmark. If a library can play it convincingly, it's out. No discussions. And Symphony series failed miserably. It sounded less like Virtuosos in Vienna and more like a drunken best man slurring through his wedding toast. At this point, I started asking composer friends for recommendations. They suggested the 8-Dio Strings Anthology and Century Strings 2.0. Both sounded gorgeous, especially for the price. But Anthology didn't even ship with a Violins 2 patch. You had to fake it with double tracks and pray you didn't get phasing in unison. Century's articulations had wildly inconsistent volume jumps and insanely long load times, way longer than they should have been, even on a fast drive. I tried everything, deleting mic positions, saving stripped MKIs, and rebuilding multis. Nothing fixed it, and since neither libraries passed the Mozart test anyway, I dropped them. Then came SampleModeling Solo and Ensemble Strings. I loved this library. It played exactly what I wrote. No fuss. Shorts, crisp. Legatos, smooth. But as my template grew, it became a CPU hog. And worse, clients started pointing out it didn't sound real enough. They weren't wrong. The ensembles felt like oversized soloists. Even drowning them in reverb didn't give them that section body. My workaround was layering solo, chamber and ensemble patches together, which sounded great, but destroyed my CPU. So, with a heavy heart, I pulled it. Next up, Nucleus from Audio Imperia. I picked it up during a partner sale on NI's site, and for a while it almost nailed it. With the right MIDI edits, it played Mozart's Figaro beautifully. But then I hit two walls: range limits. When I tested it with Holst's Jupiter, the first violin topped out before D 3 octaves above middle C. That note is standard for modern orchestral players, and most libraries skip it, missing articulations. Understandable, since Nucleus is built as an all-in-one scoring tool, but I needed more flexibility than it could offer. Then there's CineStrings. When I was starting out, CineSamples were like gods to me. I bought a whole Cine Symphony bundle, and for a while I was in love, but that wore off fast. First problem: CineSamples announced they were shifting their focus to Museo and might ditch contact development. That felt like shaky ground to invest in. Second, their articulation set was limited. And third, Mozart test failed. I still keep their solo contrabass around, but I've got Session Strings 2 on my radar as a replacement. So, what did make the cut? Cinematic Studio Strings. I couldn't wait for Aaron Venture to release Infinite Strings, and CSS came highly recommended. It's not perfect. The upper range is still limited, but it sounds fantastic. And it passed my Figaro test. Here's how I use it. 2 tracks per instrument. This fattens up the sound, CSS is chamber-sized after all, and lets me write divisi like I used to with Symphony series. Yes, phasing can happen, but careful MIDI edits usually solve it. For solos, here's my current lineup. Violin 1 is NI's Stradivari violin. Violin 2, viola and cello come from Audio Imperia's solo, and contrabass comes from CineStrings solo for now. This combo was battle tested while scoring Votum for Nero Solis in 2024. I spent 3 days during brutal A/B tests on every solo library I owned, and this was the best combination. I even tried sneaking sample modeling back in, but my CPU threatened to unionize and quit. Right now, I'm testing the rest of NI's Cremona Quartet and the contrabass from Session Strings 2. Apparently, developers are terrified of sampling contrabasses, which explains why good options are so rare. And that's it for part 2 of what's inside my orchestral template. If you've ever watched your strings faceplant through Mozart and thought, it's fine, do them a favor. Share this video with their therapist. I'm Kitarraman, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.